Yeah. All right. We are live on YouTube. How's everyone doing today? How's it going, everybody? Welcome to episode number 981. Yes, that's episode number 981 of Navigating the Modern World with Eli, the Walking with Purpose live edition. Live today from the SF Bay Trail here at Bear Island in Redwood City, California, where I live. There's a slight breeze, maybe a couple miles per hour or so, 2 to 3 miles per hour. Nothing too bad. And yeah, I'm out and about, another walk with purpose, with another very important topic here today. And we're going to be discussing how to stay positive in a world filled with constant negativity. How to stay positive in a world filled with constant negativity. Before we get to that, I'm going to hang on for a little bit here, wait for some more people to get the notification and pop on in. If you weren't here yesterday and you haven't heard yet, yesterday Don and I recorded episode number 3 of our Don and Eli Take on the World podcast. And we had a very special guest on the show, Hot Facts with Robert Reese, the man himself. We recorded the episode yesterday, and it's already queued up to go on YouTube and throughout the entire podcast network, including Spotify, Apple, Amazon Music, iHeartRadio, and the rest of them. It'll be released this Wednesday at 11 a.m. Eastern, 8 a.m. Pacific. If you want to watch the video here on YouTube, go to the other channel. This is GNA2, Genuine Live Personal Development. The other channel is GNA, Genuine Personal Development, where the podcast gets released every Wednesday at 11 a.m. Eastern, 8 a.m. Pacific. Link is below in the description. Make sure you go over there and subscribe, bang the bell, and select all notifications so you don't miss anything. And I have to say again today, what a great show that was. Now, if you've been watching Robert for a while, sometimes when he's broadcasting from certain areas in his car, his reception isn't that great. There were a few minor reception issues, and there were a few times where his microphone was coming in a little hot. That was all on his end, but that's okay. Most of it turned out pretty good. You'll be able to hear it. But yeah, what an incredible show, leading into an amazing future collaboration between Robert Reese and his wife Amelia, who was there by his side but not on camera. She wasn't speaking or on camera, even though she was welcome to. In the future, we're gonna do a show with Amelia and the other ladies. We're gonna get everyone involved. It's gonna be great. But regardless, you're not going to want to miss that show. Again, it's going to be released this Wednesday at 11 a.m. Eastern, 8 a.m. Pacific on the other channel, GNA, Genuine Personal Development. Links below in the description. And if you'd rather just hear the audio-only version, especially if you don't have YouTube Premium and don't have background play, meaning that you can't listen to YouTube videos while using other tabs on your phone or in the background on your lock screen. You need premium for that. If you don't have premium and want to do that, especially if you're in your car driving and you want to connect to Bluetooth without leaving your phone screen on, just go to one of the podcast sites. Go to Apple. On Apple, you're going to need to actually log in because it is an explicit podcast. It's considered explicit because there is some naughty language that we use every now and then. If you want to bypass that, just go to Spotify. You can hear it there. Some platforms may ask you to view an ad initially. We're not getting any revenue, at least at this point, from any of that or any of those ads, but it just allows them to put our stuff out there. So yeah, that's the way you can access the show. Besides that, it's been pretty low key lately. Things have been really heading in the right direction for us folks here at the GNA Network, also known as the Genuine Networking Association, or GNA for short. And yeah, Dawn is doing well. She's doing a hell of a lot better, and I'm just so proud of her. I don't even want to say anything more, because the more and more, she comes and does the podcast with me, and the more and more she wants to talk about her experiences, we're going to leave that up to her. We'll surprise you on that. Thank you so much to the 19 people that are here right now. We greatly appreciate you. It's about 63, 64 degrees right now. Not bad. Not bad. So yeah, let's go ahead and get right to it, because there's a lot to talk about. I'm probably going to do the entire trail today. It's 3.5 miles. I'll get up to the observation deck. So let's talk about how to stay positive in a world filled with constant negativity. I'll be the first to tell you it's not easy. And especially with social media nowadays, where people from all over. I'm sorry, I'm distracted by that plane. Especially due to social media nowadays, let's try that again. Especially when there are people from all over the world, which is what I was trying to say a second ago, for that plane threw me off. People can say whatever they want about you on the internet, pretty much. And a lot of times it's done anonymously. And even if it's not, there's really not much you can do about it. You can embrace it. You can ignore it. You can handle it however you want to handle it. Now, if you're a content creator, it may be beneficial or feasible for you to, talk about things like this or not. That's totally up to you. Right? For me, I talk about many different aspects on the internet and people's behavior and all that, because, we want to help people better themselves. We want to help people hang on a second here. Give me 1 second here. Okay. Yeah, babe, how you doing? Welcome to the show. So, there are some examples that have been really bugging me lately about some behavior, not just on the internet. I mean, it is happening on the internet. It's happening on my Facebook. But these are people I actually know and I networked with and did business with many years ago, like 8 to 10 to 12 years ago. And their responses to what's happening, with our current economy at this time, based on President Trump and his tariffs, I'm great. I can see you and hear you. Oh, well, thank you, babe. Thank you, babe. Yeah. All right. So the people on my there are some people on my Facebook that are responding to a posting I made regarding the stock market crashing and people losing big time on their retirement plans, their 401ks or their IRAs, individual retirement accounts, or any other type of investment portfolios people may have. And everyone has lost some money, right? But there have been a few people that have come out and said, well, no, we haven't lost money, we've made money, or, blah, 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 blah. Okay. Well, how have you not lost money when, over the last several weeks, the Dow Jones has crashed over 4,000 points? How have you not lost any money, regardless of your investments? And there were a few people that responded and said, well, I own several homes, and the value of my homes have gone up. Well, that is true. Homes have not really been affected by the tariffs at this point, and they may not be. And here's where I have a problem with this. And this is how I responded. I was saying to these people, do you only care about yourself, or do you care about other people? Where's your empathy? And your lack of empathy, is just not good. It's just not good. And that really, I wouldn't say it offended me or upset me. Maybe in the past it would. I'm just choosing to not get upset by ignorance, by stupidity, by selfish people, right? These are people I know that I've met in person. I've referred business to. They've referred business to me, right? And they're coming out and saying, I haven't lost any money, and Trump's the greatest president, and this is not that big of a deal or anything like that. I have home investments, I have homes, and they've gone up in value. Well, sure, right? And it's really interesting because it's only the MAGAs. The MAGA Trump supporters are the only ones that are reacting this way. I've classified people as, okay, you got the Democrats, you've got the Democrats, you've got the real Republicans, and then you have the fake wannabe Republicans, the MAGA supporters, because people that support Trump, in my opinion, are not real Republicans. They're not real conservatives, right? Because I know many real conservatives that I've met in my life, even here in California, and networking all over Northern California years ago, when I first went self-employed and I was running my insurance business. And they're really good people. And they're very empathetic people. And most Democrats and liberals that are normal are very empathetic people. And it just makes me wonder, why are these Trump supporters so triggered when, in essence, they're doing well? They've got home investments, they're making money, they haven't lost much money. Well, why are they triggered and rubbing it in our face when the rest of us have lost money? Like most people, not everybody has a lot of homes that they had the opportunity to invest in the past, especially out here in California, where the prices are more expensive than pretty much everywhere else. Not everyone has that luxury or had that luxury, right? What kind of people would rub in your face that I bought many homes and I'm doing well and, Trump all the way? And in essence, they're saying, screw the people that lost money. These Democrats deserve to lose money. Do you see us Democrats saying, screw you, you deserve to lose money? Or do you think we want you to, or we want to see you lose money? No. Why are these MAGAs so angry and bitter and feel like they want to rub in our face that we're losing money in our retirement plans, and some of them have most of their money invested in homes, so they haven't really lost much and they feel on top of the world, and they're showing off instead of having empathy for people that have lost a lot? I just don't understand that. I don't get that. Let me see if I missed any messages here. Okay. Yeah, Dawn's been in here moderating the chat, and she's blocking people, and you can't even read the previous messages now. Like when you're on mobile, you can't read the previous messages once another moderator blocks them, which is great. So yeah, I just don't understand why these people don't have empathy for others, but they're the first ones when the roles are reversed on the flip side. And if we don't give them empathy, which we typically do, then they say, oh, nobody cares about us. You just care about yourself. You don't care about, someone losing it all and this and that, right? It's just, it's really surreal how I've seen, certain people like the MAGAs behave, right? And this has created a lot of negativity. It's just created a lot of negativity, and it's really sad. It's really sad. And I don't block any of these people. Here's the thing for me. I don't necessarily want to block anyone on any social media platform. The reason why I don't block these people is because I know them, and they're contributing to the conversation, and they think they're right. They don't think they're doing anything wrong, and they're not trying to troll. Here's the thing: these people are not trying to troll. Like for me, all I've ever done is block trolls and obnoxious people that are not contributing to the conversation. Even though some of these MAGAs are coming off very selfish and inconsiderate to other people's feelings, wants, and needs, etc., at least they're contributing to the conversation. And they're not trolling. They're not trying to be haters. They're just behaving normally. That's how these people normally behave. Which, in essence, makes it even more sad. It makes it more sad. I've gotten to a point at this point in my life I've gotten to a point where I don't let anyone or anything upset me anymore. Whether it's YouTube, whether it's Facebook, whether it's family related. You know, there were things, and I know you're listening and watching, babe. Thank you for that. Even you, babe, I don't, sometimes, we've said some things to each other that are upsetting. Some things that even my lady would say would upset me in the past at times a little bit. I don't even let that get to me anymore. You know? Dawn and I have learned to take things with a grain of salt. And we've also learned that we can only control our behavior and our actions. We can't control what other people do. But we can choose where we want to focus our attention on, right? And that's one of the best pieces of ammo you have, is that you could choose where to focus your attention on. Even if people in the world, online or offline, even if people are trying to poke at you and get your attention for whatever reason, you can choose to not focus on it. And whatever comes your way, whatever comes your way, whatever is meant to be is meant to be. And then you just handle it as best as possible, and then you just move on. Right? Whatever comes your way in life. Good, bad, indifferent. Right? You've got to get yourself to a strong and high level of peace and solace, right? You got to get yourself to a relaxed and peaceful state. And don't sweat the small stuff. Don't let it bother you. Right? Don't let anything bother you. And, if you've been watching my last few Walking with Purpose streams, you've seen me in a much more relaxed state than I've ever been. And that's because right now, I'm happier than ever because I'm choosing to be happier than ever. My girlfriend Dawn is happier than ever. My family is happier than ever, right? And more people that we're meeting since we've started doing this podcast, Dawn and Eli Take on the World, the more and more people that are coming around we're meeting or reconnecting with in a positive way. Wow, we feel blessed. We've got so many positive things to focus on that even if we wanted to focus on negativity, which we don't, but even if we wanted to, for shits and giggles, there's just too many more positive things happening. There's no time. Now, we wouldn't make the time for it anyway, but there's just no time regardless, right? If you want to rid yourself of all the negativity, you got to make that choice and start focusing on positive things. You may ask, Eli, why do you think people focus on negative things or more negative things? Well, I've said it many times. It's based on how they view themselves. Negativity stems from how each individual views themselves. Any people that you see constantly focusing on negativity and taking negative actions to harm others, it's because of the way they view themselves. And it's sad because everybody out there has a purpose. Everyone out there has a lot to give this world in a positive way. But many people just choose to give in the negative way. And you have to choose whether you want to participate with negativity or remove yourself from negativity. Now, why do some people hang around other negative people? It's because like attracts like. And if you're somebody that's been negative and has been trying to turn your life around in a positive way, if you continue hanging around negative people, you're going to continue being negative. You are who you associate with. I've said that many times. You are who you associate with, right? But why don't these people just walk away from a negative group when they know they don't want any more negativity? It's because they don't feel they have anyone else besides the negative group. Some people feel like they're stuck being a part of a negative group of people, online or offline, right? And my response to the people that are stuck in that position is, I would rather be alone and not be around negative, stupid shit and focus on myself being alone for a while and bettering myself, and then put myself back out in the world in the positive way, then I'll start attracting more positive people that'll want to hang around me. I would rather be alone for a while to do that than stay stuck in a group of, let's say, 30, 40, 50 people that are negative and are going to continue to, do more negative things that would make me feel unhappy and miserable, and I would feel like, there's nothing good happening here, right? When you make a choice to rid yourself of negativity once and for all, no matter how hard people try to suck you back into negativity, online or offline, when you make a choice to rid yourself from negativity and none of it phases you, right? And you just keep moving forward and doing you, that's the most liberating feeling in the world. It's the most liberating feeling in the world. It really is. Staying positive is not an easy thing to do. It's not an easy thing to do. But one thing that helps me, from going backwards and slipping the other way, every time I'm about to slip and backtrack, I put myself in the shoes of other negative people out there. And I remind myself how I was behaving in similar ways as many negative people behave. And I didn't like that version of myself. And I never want to go back to that version of myself. So whenever, in life, you're going to have people online and offline that are going to antagonize you and poke you and try to suck you back in to bullshit. I just think back at that. And I just say, it's not worth it. Right? I'm out here on this walking trail right now. There's nobody around me. That's kind of nice, actually. Because I feel very liberated. I feel free. I feel, I feel incredible breathing the amazing fresh air. Taking this nice walk. Keeping me healthy and fit, right? I feel happy. I feel worthy, right? I feel like I'm out there doing something. That's another thing you can do. How to stay positive in a world filled with constant negativity. Go out and take a walk by yourself. You know how many walks I've gone on my own? I've taken walks with Dawn and other people in the past. I've done that. But let me tell you, and there are walks I've done on my own, not doing a live stream or pre-recorded video. Regardless, whether I'm doing a live stream or walking on my own without doing any video live or pre-recorded, live or otherwise, right? Taking that walk on my own allows me to just get out there and escape reality for a while. Now, I love my woman, love my family. I'm not trying to escape from my family. But there are a lot of things that I do for my family, including Dawn and, the dogs, my mom, my brother, other people, right? And sometimes you've had a long day and you just want to decompress. Go and take a walk. And by the time you're done with that walk, those endorphins will be kicking in. And you're just going to feel decompressed and like you're ready to keep pushing forward in a positive way. I will tell you, folks, walking is one of the most therapeutic things you can do. E-Dash, hello, Eli and chat. I hope you're having a nice walk with a purpose, Eli. Absolutely. How you doing, man? Welcome to the show. It's great to see you here. We are at 33 minutes. I'll say it again. I've said it many times, and I'll say it again. In life, you only get back what you put out. Hello, E-Dash says, respectfully, maturely, and professionally, Don. Hey. Thank you, babe, for being here to moderate. Lots of love, babe. So lots of love. I love you. Eli has a lot of love for everyone, but a very special love for his lady, Dawn. Right? Like I said, what you put out, you get back, right? And you know what? I've had some negative moments in my life. And I realized I'm the one that created or allowed that negativity to go on for as long as it did. Whether it's been out here on YouTube, Facebook, off of social media, right? Offline, right? Or like they say, the real world. Hello at respectfully, maturely, and professionally, says E-Dash. Hey, right on. Right on. We got 10 thumbs up already. Thank you so much. Yeah, that's awesome. We've got 17 people here right now, and those are real, true supporters. Thank you. Thank you for supporting the GNA and Donna and myself and Sandra and Tia and now even Robert and Amelia. And babe, we forgot to talk about Robert and Amelia on the podcast yesterday regarding their GNA executive positions. We're going to have to do another show on that at some point. Maybe I'll talk about that on his channel, or we'll do a separate video on that at some point. Also, folks, if we get a minimum of 5 super chats at $5 a piece, our super chat goal, Don and I will do a very special on the couch live stream. We'll do a very special on the couch with Don and Eli live stream. You know, within a few days or so after we hit those goals. So consider supporting the super chat goals. We would love to do that show for you. Just a little motivation using some of the new tools that YouTube now has for their monetized channels. And we have 2 of them. But yeah, you know, what you put out, you get back. So if you want to keep it positive, you got to put out positivity. Because if you're constantly putting out negativity, online or offline, if it hasn't come back to bite you in the ass yet, eventually it'll come back to bite you in the ass. No doubt about that. I can promise you folks this. People that continue to go down the negative road, continue to put out negativity into the universe, you're going to start getting negativity back, and eventually negativity is going to kick you in the ass. That's just how life works. Again, you only get back what you put out. What you put out, you get back, right? Whew. Got some people coming back from the observation deck. I'm going to pull over to the side and let these people pass by here. Give me a second here. Look at the view from this side. Isn't it fantastic, this side angle? My lady and I tonight are going to watch, I think it's episode number 7 of Suits LA. Released on NBC on Sunday nights, and the next day on Peacock Monday. Gorgeous. Thank you so much, E-Dash. Yeah. I'm not complaining, man. I'm not complaining. I love where I live, and hopefully you do too, E-Dash, and everyone else. You should just love where you live. Especially if you're still living in the area you were born and grew up in. There's no place like home, right? Remember what Dorothy said in The Wizard of Oz? There's no place like home, right? There's no place like home. There's no place like home, right? Dorothy and Toto. And the rest of the crew. The wetlands are pretty nice. Do you remember when Marine World was off 101? LOL. Yeah. Actually, Marine World was 2 exits north off of Ralston Avenue, which is also still on the other side of Ralston Avenue in Belmont. It's still called Marine World Parkway. So you have 1 exit down, which is 1 exit north that way, which is Holly Street. I've actually walked in that area too. There's part of the trail. Part of the trail goes there. The trail goes all along. You can access it from any entry or any area. I've done it before. It's just been a while. Yup. Yeah. E-dash says yup. So Holly Street is also Redwood Shores Parkway. Redwood Shores is a very, very beautiful area built on landfill. And then one exit down north is Ralston Avenue, Belmont. And on the other side is Redwood Shores Parkway. Yeah, I think you're talking about the area where Oracle is at. Same like Shoreline. Oh yeah, Shoreline's all landfill. You know what's cool though? Don and I went to Shoreline last year to see the Jason Aldean concert, and Shoreline doesn't smell that bad anymore. They've really, they filled that up as much as possible, and it used to smell pretty bad out there, but it's not as bad. When they first built it, God, I mean, we're talking about 35 years ago or so, maybe a little bit longer than that. It used to smell pretty bad out there. Shoreline Boulevard. And it's right next door to Google corporate headquarters. Don and I did a live stream on the way to the Jason Aldean concert. It's members only now because, nothing really bad happened, but, we put it members only for certain reasons. We'll just leave it at that. We don't need to get into that. But yeah, a lot of stuff is landfill out here, and they've really done an amazing job building some amazing homes. Some great developments. I heard fireballs used to come from underground from the methane buildup. Yeah, there was a lot of stuff happening. You're talking over at Shoreline, right, in Mountain View? Yeah. Yeah, that was a pretty crazy area. Another issue they had there, the neighbors were really pissed off because the sound would travel so far. And so Shoreline put these special hoods on their tents to, more so suppress the noise from rising up. And then, Shoreline, yeah. And they've done a better job of not pissing off the neighbors, but they used to piss off the neighbors. There were a lot of issues at Shoreline initially, but now it's like people have gotten used to Shoreline being there, and it's become an icon, Nothing like sitting on the lawn at Shoreline. I think I've only sat in the seats one time at the Shoreline Amphitheater. That one time was for a Milli Vanilli concert. I won tickets to Milli Vanilli, reserve tickets from a radio station back then. That was right before they got exposed for lip syncing. Anyway. Many of great shows at Shoreline. Oh, yeah. I actually saw Summer Jam there. If you've lived in the Bay Area, you probably have heard of 106.1 KMEL. I don't know if they still do it, but they used to run Summer Jam back then with all the great artists. And I believe they ended up doing Summer Jam over an entire weekend. I've been to Summer Jam. Between Shoreline Amphitheater and Oakland Coliseum Arena, I've seen Phil Collins, I've seen Janet Jackson, I've seen Madonna. I saw Tears for Fears and Aerosmith at the Cow Palace in San Francisco, which is actually in Daly City. They call it San Francisco because no one knows who the fuck Daly City is, right? No one knows where Daly City is at. It's just a city south of San Francisco. on the other side of South San Francisco, which is an actual city in San Mateo County, south of San Francisco City and County. Awesome, yeah. I used to have a lot of fun, dude. I used to have a lot of fun. I'm no fun anymore. I told Don by later this year or the end of this year, things will be better on the financial end of things, and we're going to start to do a lot more fun things again. There's just a lot of uncertainty right now, with the market and the tariffs, and there's just so much, so much garbage happening. And we just got this new podcast going, and there are a lot of things that Don and I are working on behind the scenes, personally and professionally. There are a lot of irons in the fire, let's put it that way. But E-Dash, thank you so much. I appreciate it. Really do. Yeah, really appreciate your participation. Daly City has Daly City letters on a hill like South San Fran or Hollywood, right? I haven't seen it, no. South San Francisco has, on the mountains like Hollywood, it says South San Francisco, the industrial city. Because, and that's on the Highway 101, the 101 side. Like this trail right here is running right by it. Well, 101 runs right by it. So this is 101 north, going north. And that'll go to South San Francisco, past the airport, SFO, San Francisco Airport. And right before you get to the Candlestick Point area, which used to be where the Giants played at Candlestick Park, that's been demolished for years now, you'll see mountains that say South San Francisco, the industrial city. South City, which is what we call it, short for South San Francisco. South City is where, it has a huge industrial area, and there's lots of manufacturing and stuff going on there. I hope Trump doesn't fuck with South San Francisco. Gavin Newsom won't let him. It just reminds me how much of a piece of shit Trump is, saying Gavin Newsom, or calling Gavin Newsom. I like Gavin Newsom. I would love to see him run for president, because we know J.D. Vance is going to run in 2028. I would love to see Newsom run. If he doesn't run in 2028, he'll probably end up running in 2032. Newsom is a fighter. He is not the kind of guy that is going to walk away, especially when he's been running the state here in California as governor. This is the wealthiest state, not only in the U.S., but we have the 5th largest economy in the world here in California alone. Gavin Newsom is almost like a president of his own country here. F Trump. My lady and I will agree with you. And many others that have lost a shit ton of money lately on their retirement plans and other investments in their portfolios would say F Trump as well. That's why I take these walks, E-Dash, because, I can get it off my chest. I can do these shows, and then I go home to my lady, and we can just chill with the dogs and watch a few shows and then get to bed. Look at that sun. It's going to start to go down a little bit. How beautiful is that? F Trump. 4 or 5 Fs right there, man. You could probably let the keyboard run with all those Fs. Is that on the? I can barely see it. Are you saying what a joke? E dash. E dash says ha 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 100%. Okay, now I see what you're saying. Okay. What a piece of shit you mean, bleep bleep. What a fucking loser, hypocrite. It's all right, bro. I'll say it for you. I'll say it for you. You know, I don't wish harm upon anyone, including Trump. Like, we can't wish harm upon anyone. But when someone is just blatantly stupid like him, like he's blatantly stupid, you know, somebody named Woolworth that was out of town, out of the country with his wife for a while, came back yesterday, and he was saying that he feels Trump has been deliberately tanking the stock market by threatening tariffs, so that way when it gets to a low point, then Trump and his oligarchs can invest, you know, money, and then boom, it'll go back up, and they will all double, triple, quadruple their money. But that's like insider trading, and that would be like treason on Trump. And I was thinking that too. We were talking about that yesterday. It's like none of what Trump is doing makes sense, but to the MAGAs, like they eat, sleep, shit, and breathe Trump like it's gospel. And I just don't get it. It's like I don't get it. What's it going to take for people to understand? This is not good. And just because some people may have not lost as much money yet doesn't mean they're not going to. And for the super wealthy people, the millionaires, not everyone's a millionaire. Not everyone has millions of dollars in the bank and lots of properties like some of these people on my Facebook have been saying lately, where they don't care if prices go up. They don't care if their 401s go down because they don't even really need a 401. They've got plenty of cash, right? Yes, it's E-Dash. Yeah. We are at 53 minutes, 21 in the box, 16 thumbs up. Please smash the thumbs up. Please share this out. It's a beautiful day in the neighborhood. Mr. Eli's neighborhood. Hi, neighbor. Like I was saying earlier, you know, this all coincides with the topic. What you put out, you get back, right? And, you know, in order to keep it positive, we got to remove ourselves from negativity. Now, there's nothing wrong with calling people out or addressing issues that are affecting us that other negative people are doing. All right? There's a time and a place for it, you know? There's a time and a place for it. Oh, 23 people here now. Thank you so much for being here. But here's the thing, E-Dash and everyone else, babe, respectfully, maturely, and professionally done. Here's the thing. The people that keep pushing the envelope like Trump, and I'm not just talking about Trump, I'm talking about everyone. Hey, still GLM? Hey, hi, happy Monday. Yeah, GLM, still working with Team YouTube to get your main channel unblocked. I will email you as soon as it changes. So if you haven't heard from me by email, that means it's still not taken care of. And I'm glad you're here on your other channel. Thank you also again for your $4.99 super chat the other day. Very kind of you. I hope you're having a great night, or evening, that is. But yeah, people like Trump or anyone else that, continues to do stupid shit, right? People that continue to do negative things that harm others, it will all eventually catch up to them. And when it hits them, they're not going to know what hit them. Like Trump, this is all going to fall back on him at some point. Trump is praying that he can manipulate all these countries to come to the table and make deals that are going to more so benefit the U.S. and screw over these other countries. The U.S. has never been about screwing over other countries. We've been about collaborating and being allies with most other countries, with the exception of a few, like Russia, right? Hey, GLM says, my lady, respectfully, maturely, and professionally, that balloon museum seems super cool but scary. Still GLM? D, it was so fun. It wasn't scary at all. We had a blast. Balloon museum? What the hell is the balloon museum? Am I forgetting something about the last show GLM was on? Everyone's day will eventually come, mark my words. People that play the system, ride lines, skate lines, right? Even some people cross lines. Some people can get away with all that for quite a while. But in the end, eventually, it catches up with everyone. And when it catches up with people that have been getting away with stupid shit for a while, oh yeah, enough said. That's why I've chosen to keep it positive. That's why I'm not letting things faze me anymore, not letting things get to me. Because it's just a matter of time. And I'm very patient. Because I know whatever's meant to be for my life, for Dawn's life, for our families' lives, and whatever is meant to be for your life, if you're watching here, right, eventually it will just fall into place. It'll just fall into place. And there's nothing or no one that can get in the way of that. Sorry, I'm just taking a breather for a second here. It just opened at the Palace of Fine Arts. Oh, okay, in the city, in San Francisco. Okay. Yeah, I haven't been to San Francisco in a while. Francisco. I bet San Francisco's even more congested than ever now. It's always been a pain in the ass getting around the city. We call San Francisco the city by the bay, right? So we're going to come out here for a second. We're going to wait for somebody to pass on by. Look, they're doing some work out here. There's like some new fertilizer or something. Just taking a breather for a second, folks. Enjoy the scenery. I want to remind you folks that have just joined us. Don and I recorded episode number 3 of the Don and Eli Take on the World podcast yesterday with special guest Hot Facts with Robert Reese. It was a great show, and it will be released this Wednesday at 11 a.m. Eastern, 8 a.m. Pacific on the other channel, GNA, Genuine Personal Development. Links below in the description. Make sure you subscribe, bang the bell, and select all notifications so you don't miss anything. It'll also be available throughout the entire podcast network, Apple, Spotify, Amazon Music, iHeartRadio, and the rest of them. You can do a Google search. You can do a Google search for Don and Eli Take on the World or Don and Eli Take on the World podcast, and you'll start seeing it show up on more podcast sites. Or just go to your favorite known podcast site and search for us in their search engine. But you'll have to type out Don and Eli Take on the World podcast entirely, because I don't think just Don and Eli will have it show up. Maybe. I mean, we're 3+ weeks into it now, so we should start getting some more search relevancy. But you're not going to miss this show. Great show. And it was actually our shortest show. It was 1 hour and 37 minutes or something like that. Good show. And next week, tentatively, going to be interviewing a longtime friend of mine, Johnny Dilks, tentatively, because we may end up pushing that back. It all depends. Johnny wants to hang out with my lady Dawn and I. And then we can find a time to record the show. So if we can make that happen this weekend, then he'll be episode 4. If not, we'll have him on next month and have another guest or do another topic for the following week. But yeah, if you want to be a part of the podcast, if you would like us to interview you pre-recorded, we typically record them on a Sunday. We can actually do it before that time. If that's easier for you, Sundays are preferred. Email me at eliasmelas at genuinenetworkingassociation.org and express your interest. And if we feel you'd be a good fit for the show, we'll get back to you. GLM, you were timed out by Nightbot. I think you might have used a block word. What did you say, GLM? I didn't see what you said. I searched it and Eli, it pops right up. I think it was my name. Oh. Yeah, I have your name blocked, babe. I think I need to unblock just your name. It doesn't matter. We use your name publicly anyway. It doesn't matter. Even Don Leisurewood, we use that publicly, so I'll have to remove your name from the block words list. Sorry, GLM. It'll all be fixed soon. We can moderate that other channel. If it doesn't happen, then we'll probably end up moderating this one anyway, so. I searched, and Eli, it pops right up. Wonderful. Wonderful, thank you. Thank you, GLM. Yeah, no, we're taking this seriously, you know. Like we've been saying, you know, we've really been working hard behind the scenes since the last 4 months of 2024, since back in September of 2024. We were already planning all this. And here we are in April, almost 8 months later, and it's all finally coming into fruition. Sometimes things take just a little bit longer to come into fruition, you know. Just got to keep on pushing forward. You know, never give up. You know, I've seen many people start a podcast and give up. I used to do a podcast, you know, back in the days with my friend before he passed away, the Discover County Network. But I used to self-host it. And we actually did it for 3 years. We did like 140 something episodes of the podcast. It was one episode per week. We did like 140 episodes. And then, you know, that's when things started to change and we stopped doing the live events at the GNA and it all went more so online. There's been a big shift from in-person networking events to online. Now, people still network in person. It's just not as much as it used to be. A lot more people have even moved their networking online, and I still feel it's very important to get to know, like, and trust people by meeting them in person. There are a lot of people that Don and I will be meeting and would love to meet when we start touring the country, hopefully by next year or the year after. Meet people through the GNA that we meet out here or any other means of social media, and hopefully even do a video with them. It's very hard to keep things positive. Very difficult. You have to want to do it. You have to choose to do it. You got to be strong. And you also have to think about, if you don't stay strong and ignore certain things from people online and offline, then in essence, you're pretty much giving anyone online or offline that may be antagonizing you, you're giving them what they want, right? And if you stay strong and don't let anything faze you, sometimes people may still think, you're giving them what they want, but they know you're not, and you know you're not. What matters more is you're not giving people what they want, right? You got to stay strong. You have to understand the purpose and the underlying message. Sometimes people just want a reaction. They'll do anything to get that from you, right? Don't give them the reaction. If you're going to give any reaction, just say, hey, fuck it, whatever. I don't care. But you really have to not care. And people can see in your eyes and your tonality. Now you can't see my eyes because I have my Ray-Bans on. It's a little bit bright today. But you can hear in someone's tonality when they're calm, when they're cool, calm, and collected, right? You can tell when someone just doesn't give a shit about stupid shit, right? Give me a second here. We got somebody coming behind me. And then we have the last stretch, the last leg of the walk. And Don and I are going to get some Hawaiian barbecue tonight. It's a beautiful, beautiful, beautiful evening. All right. Thank you so much to the 20 people that are here right now. We greatly appreciate you. I'm in one of those moods where I always have something to say, but I just feel like being quiet and not saying anything. I feel very relaxed. I feel very content. I feel like I've said everything that needs to be said, and I don't want to overdo it, right? I know also we've got about 3/8 of a mile left, a little less than a half a mile before we get off the trail, so I'll come up with something, but yeah, that's some other advice there. Don't extend the live stream or don't extend the piece of content when you said everything that needed to be said about that particular topic, right? Give me a second here. I've got some people coming. I've got some debris on the trail there. I saw that on the way in. Is that like poo-poo or something? It looks like horse dung. Who would be riding a horse out here? All right. One of my secret weapons in life, because I've never been the kind of guy that's felt the need to be competitive with anyone. Like, But there are people that have felt the need to be competitive with me online and offline, right? And you want to know what the secret ammunition is to working through that and just letting it go, right? Whether you've won or not, and typically, if you're the type of person that knows you've won over a stupid person or stupid group of people online or offline, right? One of the ways to look at it is let them think they've won, right? You let them think that they've won. Because you know in your head who the real winner is, right? It doesn't matter what other people think. It doesn't matter if they think you're a winner or a loser. What matters is, do you feel or think you're a winner or a loser? Right? Let people think that they've won, that there's a competition between you and them. Let them think all that, right? Let them occupy their time with that, right? And you just keep focusing on what you're trying to create, knowing that there's never been any competition because you're a winner within yourself. That's the moral of the story. That's the key to happiness. That's the key to happiness and success and staying positive in a world filled and consumed by negativity and hate. You don't have to let it consume you. You don't. Got a few more people coming. I just swear I saw the same Asian man and lady wearing the same thing walk right past me, that just walked past me like a quarter of the mile before I reached the spot. Maybe I'm tripping, I don't know. I don't know. Let me see. Look at the sun over there. Courtyard by Marriott. What a beautiful hotel that is. You are a winner. Don't ever let anyone say otherwise. You are a winner within yourself. Doesn't matter what anyone else thinks. Yes, people are going to share their opinions, and a lot of them are not going to be nice, right? You just don't have to focus on that. But, hey, everyone knows how hard it is to get to the point of where I've gotten to and where Don's gotten to, right? We know people are going to struggle with this, but you should strive to get to that place like Don and I have gotten to, where no one's opinions really faze us. The only opinion that matters about us is our own opinions of ourselves. The only opinion that matters to me is my own. The only opinion that matters to Dawn is her own. That's the way it should be, right? I've always said it. The only opinion of yourself that matters is your own. If you allow other people's opinions to get to you. Now, if they're good opinions and, they're uplifting and all that, cool, you can value that. But even then, you don't have to value that if you don't want to. Now, you should value the positive stuff, of course. But the negative stuff, that's not true. You don't have to value or even acknowledge. You can't ignore it because that's part of life. People are going to criticize you. That's a part of their freedom of speech. You have to learn to handle it. But you don't have to value it unless you want to. And other people's opinions, again, of you don't define who you are. You define who you are. Getting closer to the end over here. I don't know. Don and I should probably do a live stream from the couch at some point. We haven't done one in a while. We made it our super chat goal pretty much every day. But for now, we haven't reached that goal. So who knows? Maybe we'll just do a show anyway, just to give our audience a treat. I don't know if you're still around, babe. But maybe we should do that at some point in the near future. Yeah. Almost done 3.5 miles. It's been a long yet productive day today. A very productive day for Dawn and I. And you know, after one of these long and productive days, there's no better feeling than, you know, getting a nice meal. We're gonna have, like I said, Hawaiian barbecue tonight. And then, you know, I'm gonna pick it up on the way home and then just sit down with my lady and our dogs and relax after a hard day's work. No better feeling than that. You don't get that feeling unless you're satisfied with what you accomplished. And I'm very satisfied with what I accomplished today and what I have accomplished every day. You got to get to that level where you're satisfied with what you're accomplishing every day. And then when it comes time to, you know, end your work day or end your day regardless of what you do and sit down with your family, have dinner, and maybe watch a little TV before bedtime, you'll have that feeling of satisfaction where you can just sit at home and rest and relax and kick your feet up and feel like you earned it. Whoosh, whoosh.
سوال خوبیه نمیدونم.
All right. Welcome to the show, Whoosh Whoosh. Great to see you here. Folks, start getting your final questions, comments, and concerns in the chat. We're going to be going off the air in about 5 to 7 minutes or so, maybe a little bit less. The glorious thing about life, folks, once again, is that you can pick and choose what you want to talk about, what you want to respond to, what you don't want to talk about, what you don't want to respond to, what upsets you, what doesn't upset you. Even in this day and age of social media and having these smartphones attached to our hips where we never disconnect, you are in full control. You're in more control than you think. And everything you do, every action you take is your choice. Got a Cybertruck here. This thing was like running pretty. It's a black Cybertruck. Well, I wouldn't be proud to be driving any Muskmobiles at this point. that Tesla stock keeps going down. Now I'm seeing the futures for the stock market. Tomorrow the futures look like the stock market's going to go up. Well, we'll see. It all depends on what Trump says. I just can't believe that the stock market's been so volatile with, or through the words of Donald Trump. Thank you to the 24 people here. 7 thumbs up. Greatly appreciate those thumbs up and people here that are watching. YouTube still hasn't fixed the flipped image issue on the front facing camera. Well, we're just gonna have to keep pushing forward. Another beautiful day, beautiful walk. I hope you all enjoyed this. You're going to hear a great stream, not a great stream, a great pre-recorded podcast video with Robert Reese this Wednesday. Don and Eli Take on the World podcast episode 3 will be released. And you're going to hear some things that Robert said, especially towards the end. The whole show was good, but especially towards the end, regarding the future of where he's taking his channel. It just blew me away. It was just incredibly nice to hear. I'm not going to spoil it for you folks. You have to tune in and hear it for yourself. See it and hear it for yourself. But I'm going to get going. 87 minutes, an hour and 27 minutes. Time to grab some food and head home to the family. And you all spent some great time with your family tonight. And yeah, tomorrow will be a different day. With that being said, have a good one. Take care, and as always, be good to each other. See you all tomorrow. Good night, everyone.